Yup, what is good YouTube? Ryan checking in for the first time in a very long time, and I'm returning with an Airpod Max review.
Airpods Max sets the new standard for over-ear headphones.
So these bad boys just dropped recently and the price is absurd, so I had to share my thoughts on these guys. I had to do it obviously in a non-biased way, let you guys know, a couple pros, a couple cons, and then give you guys just kind of a general consensus and if I think they're actually worth the amount of money that Apple is asking for. So without further ado, let's get into the review. Alright guys, as promised, I'm going to start off with a quick review. These guys, $550 USD or 779 Canadian.
$500.
$500?
$500.
$500. $500.
$500. 16 to 20 hours worth of battery life. Lightning to USB-C charging, which I think is ideal, given the speeds that you get with USB-C. They've got two buttons on the actual headphones. One like digital crown, similar to what they have on the actual, that's what they call it, digital crown, which is what they have on the Apple Watch, and then just like another side button, I guess you could say, which basically controls like pause, play, and then the crown obviously controls the volume. So replaceable muffs on these guys, so if you've had them for too long, they start to wear out, you can get new ones for I think $69 USD. I don't know what the American price is, so you can only imagine what the delta is there. But yeah, nonetheless, it does have the removable muffs, which is good for the longevity, I guess. Also comes with the carrying case, which helps with power saving mode. So that's a pretty cool addition, even though this thing looks like super funky and kind of purse-esque. So that's a quick overview of the AirPod Maxes for you. Let's get into the pros. Alright guys, so jumping into the pros here. I've got three main pros for this product. The three that I have are the actual design, the battery life, and then the audio quality. So that's kind of in a random order. But yeah, starting off with the actual design / aesthetic, these things are on point. They definitely look like no other pair of headphones. The one that kind of reminds me of these, or I could see a little bit of similarities, would be Bowers Wilkins noise canceling over ear. Just with the little mesh aspects and stuff like that. But aside from that, these look like no other. So they've got the mesh top here, which is a pretty flexible light band, which I think helps with the weight distribution because these muffs are super heavy. But the good thing is they don't feel like there's a whole lot on your head, just a little bit of extra weight on your ears. But all in all, design of these things are perfect. They fit extremely comfortably, which is always a plus. If you're paying a premium price, you definitely want to have something that looks good and feels good. So I think that these definitely do check those boxes. The one thing that I will say is they've got this adjustment part here, which is a little bit tough to actually move, which I guess could be a good thing and a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. But I feel like it's almost a little bit too tough to move. But all in all, design of these things is pretty awesome. High fidelity audio, that's what Apple boasts with these guys, and they definitely are right about that. So these things sound awesome. So I actually own a pair of Sony MX3s, which are those and Bose Quiet Comforts I think are the gold standard when it comes to noise canceling headphones, and you can't really tell the difference between those and these. These might be a little bit better, especially in terms of the noise canceling, but they definitely reach their competition, especially with this first product here, which might be partly in fact because Apple owns Beats and they might have their sauces and stuff like that.
Sauce is forever.
To make these awesome headphones, but yeah, they definitely did a great job with the actual sound quality and noise canceling aspect of these headphones. If you have these on and you have the noise canceling, actually turned on, you cannot hear anything. Well, not hear anything, but you can very, very, very barely hear anything outside of like, I'd say maybe 4 feet or so, which is awesome, especially for if you're working in an office, you're, you know, walking like just down the street, whatever, you don't want to hear what's going on in the background. It's awesome to cut out that audio. Another good example is with the subway and stuff like that. If you're on the subway, that'll definitely tune out everything that's, well, most of what's there. Ambient sound, which is the second mode with this audio. So you click on that side button there, and then it actually flips to that ambient mode, which is good in case you do want to be aware of what's going on, and you can sense what direction things are coming from. So it's coming from the back, side, front, whatever. That's what that ambient mode is for. So both of those modes are grade A, and I definitely have no complaints on that front, and would consider them pros. Lastly, battery life of these guys. 16 to 20 hours is what they're boasting, and I have had about that with these, so definitely can't complain on that front. I think the fact that they've got the lightning to USB-C is a huge pro as well, because you can get that, you know, hours worth of charge in like 15 to 20 minutes, which is grade A, perfect. That's exactly what you want when it comes to battery life for headphones. You don't want to have to be charging these every other couple hours or whatever. You know, you can get through a couple of days of work, or if you have them at the desk, you can just charge them before you actually leave the office, or whatever the case may be. Anyways, those are the pros for these guys. Cons, and keep in mind, I'm trying my best to just skim through these guys. I don't want to go into too much details. If you guys have a bunch of questions, I know that you're smart enough, you could do some detailed research online, or just read through some forums, or even drop a comment in this video and let me know, and I could try to answer it for you. So, jumping into cons. My bad, guys, forgot to mention the overview of the 3 cons. So the 3 cons that I had for the actual AirPod Maxes are the ease of use of the buttons, the potential for them to get scratched, and then lastly, the actual ear muff quality / longevity. So yeah, back to the cons. The first one is, yes, the design is like the actual headphones look good, but I feel like they could have done a better job with the button and like ease of use. So in my experience, most headphones actually have dedicated buttons for, like, you know, changing songs, whether it be like a swipe gesture or whatever, turning on the noise canceling, turning it off, volume, power off, Bluetooth, this, that, and the fourth. Just detailed buttons. These just have 2 buttons. This guy here, which is dedicated to the volume, feels good, looks good, but it's just for the volume. And then they've got the side button here as well, which is for flicking between the ambient mode and noise canceling. So only those 2 buttons. Aside from that, they expect these to just kind of connect to your devices instantaneously, especially if you've got an iPhone. Yeah, so I think that they probably could have done a better job of maybe adding a little bit more dedicated buttons to things like the Bluetooth, or like actually switching songs. So like a swipe gesture, or even just like a dedicated button for it, rather than triple tapping the play button and double tapping it to rewind / fast forward. And yeah, anyways, that's the one thing that I think they probably could have fixed. Also, this is me being super lazy. You can easily do these things on your phone, your smartwatch, whatever. This is, I think, me maybe nitpicking a little bit. Second con that I had, you're paying quite a bit of money for a pair of headphones that look phenomenal, but these things, like the material on these things, super prone to getting scratched. I don't know about you, but like my headphones, I take good care of them, but sometimes I put them down on my desk or whatever, in my backpack. I put them down quite a bit, and I've just noticed if you have these on like the very close setting here, when you actually drop them down, they tend to tap, 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 tap.
Tap, tap, tap in.
So I think, anyways, what I'm trying to get at is I think that this material here is super prone to like scratching and stuff like that. Like you'll see on some like MacBooks, it's that same material, and then you end up seeing them super scratched, which I'm like very worried about. So yeah, I think maybe if they had some other like different like glossy finish or something that was like a little bit more scratch proof, then that would be beneficial, because I could see these getting damaged in no time. Second kind of part tying into that is the actual muffs. Yeah, the muffs. These things, like, awesome that they're replaceable, but they're like, it's like a mesh material. So I don't sweat a lot, but I sweat enough. And I feel like if you're wearing these for a long time, this material, rather than the sweat kind of falling off or like you having to wipe it off, I feel like this mesh like kind of swallows it almost. So these would, I would think, like absorb it and start to maybe, you know, decay or just be a little bit less quality quicker over time compared to if you were to have like a leather or something like that. So that's one con / drawback that I think is a little bit gimmicky, because they're charging you to replace these muffs, which is like good for like great that you guys offer that, and you know other products don't. But also, like, do I think that might be kind of a sneaky move, a way for them to just make a little bit more money? Yes, partially. So yeah, those are the main cons. As I said, I'm just kind of glimpsing over these things. I've only had them for a couple days, but I thought it'd be cool to share a quick review in case you guys were thinking about getting them really soon. Or maybe even for the Christmas holidays. Someone you love, yourself, spoiling yourself. So yeah, general consensus on these guys with all that being said, price point is definitely the highest price point I have seen for any pair of headphones that is noise canceling. Definitely not like, you know, some like studio or like recording headphones. Like these are strictly for users that are like commuting, using around the office, listening to music casually, you know, the more casual user. So in that category of casual users, this is hands down the most expensive product. Would I purchase this? No. Am I going to return these? Yes. These were a little less than $1,000 Canadian for these. I think that if you want like a super high quality pair of headphones, you can get something very similar for the actual audio and comfort part from Sony, from Bose, for more than half the price. So for me personally, no, I wouldn't get these. If you have like a great amount of money, or you know, you're making like a very healthy salary, and you're someone that, you know, can get around the fact that these can get damaged pretty easily, or you've got to replace the muffs every other couple months, or maybe if you're even in that market, you probably have someone like at EA that's gonna do all this stuff for you, make sure it's just done, then these are right up your alley. But yeah, general consumers, nah, this is not it. There's definitely much better alternatives that feel just as good, sound just as good, might not look as flashy, but do the same trick. Anyways, guys, that's my general consensus. I definitely think that they were reaching for the real like upper echelon of high elite millennials with these guys, or millennials that are just spoiled.
I try to do something nice and tell my parents exactly what I want for my birthday. I told them I wanted a blue car, you know, and they gave me a red one. Like, I mean, come on.
But yeah, that's my review nonetheless. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully there will be some more content to come within the next couple weeks. If you found this helpful, like the video, share with a friend if you've got any questions. As you noticed, I just kind of glimpsed over everything, so if there's anything specific, leave it in the comments and I will more than likely respond. Peace out, guys.